So you've got yourself one of these bad boys, the Pfaff 635 sewing machine. Good choice. But now you want to understand all the features and functions. Well, today I'm going to take you through all of those so you can get the best from your new sewing machine. So winding your bobbin, you follow the guides, go through there, round the back there, and then you come back on yourself on this little hook. And I've found it quite useful if you actually hold the thread down before the hook, because you can see it's slipping out there. If you pull that back, there you go, and you'll feel that snap in, and that's good to go. And then obviously you need to thread your bobbin. Not always the easiest. Don't forget you go from the inside out. I actually did that quite quickly. Snap it down onto the bobbin winder, push that over to engage, and you're disengaging the needle at the same time. I'm going to use the button to start this off. You can use the foot pedal. Let it go for a little while till it catches, snip the threads off, and then press the go button again. Now I've sped this up because you don't want to watch me doing this for minutes on end. But basically we're going to keep winding the bobbin, and you'll notice there's a little white piece of plastic poking out into the bobbin there, and when the thread starts to push up against that, the whole bobbin itself will start to stutter. When it does, there it goes, press the stop button, you're good to go. There's a little blade on the top, snap that off, the thread's gone, pull that back over, and you've got a really neatly wound bobbin, and you're ready to go on to the next step. Threading your machine, so you follow the guides at the top, go round through the little grooves. There's little indications on there how to do that, and then with the presser foot up you come down with the thread, then back up and into the top of the take up lever and down again. Little tip here, if you're not sure if that's in the right place, what you can do is press the needle up, needle down. You press it down once and then press it again, and that brings that arm to the right place. And then once you've done that, you follow the little guides, particularly the one at the top of the needle, the little bar, the little clip, sorry, that brings it down in front of the needle, very important. And then with this needle threader you just pull across and then bring the threader down. It's got one of the better threaders, and you'll see it's thrown a little loop of thread at the back. Sometimes you might need a pair of tweezers or something, but you grab that, pull that through. I've left a little bit there. Put a cap on that, pull that down, and you're just about ready to go. So now we're ready to put the bobbin in. You pull that little clip back, and that releases the plate. Lift that off. And then you take your bobbin, you want the thread hanging down to the left hand side. You should just drop that straight in, keep your finger on it, and then pull the thread back and around that little plastic point there, grey plastic point, and then take the thread around. There's a little slot that it goes into, and a little blade at the end. When you pull, that's it. Put the plate back on and you're ready to go. Now you can wind a bobbin without unthreading your needle. Just bring your thread under the presser foot with the presser foot up to the left hand side, then back up where you were just threading it, and at the top you'll notice there's a little clip, a little metal clip that will take the thread, stop it wearing into the case. So that's there, and then you go towards the back of the machine around that first clip at the back, the one on the most left hand side, and from there on you're kind of just threading it as if you were actually winding it normally, so it goes under the tension clip there. Make sure it passes straight under, and then you're just about to try and thread your bobbin. I think I get this first time. That's it. But don't forget you need to push that over to engage it. Start winding. Stop after a few turns. Snip your thread off, and you're winding and bobbin as usual. Looking at the front of the machine, you've got 3 buttons on the very left. The first one is needle up, needle down. So when you press that, the needle will stop down in the fabric, which is great if you want to pivot the fabric or you want to lift the presser foot and check what's going on. The next one is the tie off, and that stitches in the same place 3 times. So instead of having to reverse on and off to catch your threads at the end of your sewing and the beginning of your sewing, just use that. Then the bottom one is thread snips. You pull both threads through to the bottom and it cuts them off, and it means you can just lift the presser foot and take the fabric away. It won't pull the threads with it. And here we have start stop button, so you don't have to use a foot pedal if you don't want to. And then reverse, so you can reverse on and off if you want to, or sew in reverse, show you later. The speed control doesn't just control the speed of the start stop button, but also of your foot pedal as well. So press the tie off button before you start sewing, and then if you tap the reverse when you finish, it will tie off for you as you go. Turn that one off. And the reverse button, if you press that, that light comes on, it means the machine will sew in reverse. Not sure why you would need this, but it will keep doing it until you press the reverse button again, and the little light will go out, and then the machine will start sewing normally again. Thread snips on the front of the machine. If you push that at any time, it will just cut the threads for you and light up and then go off again. But if you start sewing and then at some point you want to stop and you want it to cut the threads, just press that button and it will stitch off for you and snip the threads at the same time. The display window gives you all the information you need about the stitch that you're using. In this case we're using, well, let's go to stitch number 1, and it's telling me I can use single needle, what presser foot I need to use. I can use it with the IDT engaged, the tension that the stitch will be at, and then your ability to adjust the width and the length of the stitch. And what you see up here in the actual window is a life-size representation of the stitch you're going to be making. So if I change the stitch, which I can do by pressing this button, and I go to the zigzag stitch, which is number 5, that's what you're actually going to see. And if I want to change the width of the stitch, I can. You'll notice that the width number will change to green. That means I've adjusted it. The same with if I change the length of the stitch. If I go too far, it will beep at me. Likewise, if I take it out too far the other way, it will beep at me. Easy as that. All of your stitches are here. You get different types of stitches, so your utility stitches, and then the other types of stitches, so you can just press one of these and it takes you straight there. Alternatively, you can just move up or down through the stitches. If I change to one of the decorative, to one of the buttonhole stitches, and jump down a page, there's a buttonhole. I press 37, you'll notice that the foot that I need changes. It's telling me that I need to use some stabilizer. I can't use IDT because it's a buttonhole foot, and then I have the ability to adjust the stitch density and the stitch width. Where you have stitch density, you can see there's 2 little dots here, which means there's 2 functions on this. Press the bottom there. Actually is your stitch elongation, and that is allowing you to lengthen your satin stitches. The entire stitch will get longer, but the density of the stitch will stay the same. These 2 buttons, these 2 functions are your mirroring functions. So for example, if you go to your stitch menu and pick a decorative stitch, let's pick a nice one. So we pick this, but you'll notice that if I press this button, the stitches reverse. I'll put that back, and if I press that button, they flip up and down. So you can do it both ways. and you can tell when they're activated because again the function turns green. Settings, you can adjust your thread tension, but that's only for the stitch that you're working on. When you turn the machine off and back on again, the thread tension will reset, so it's a temporary change. If you're going to use a twin needle, press that button, and then you can change, you can say what the width of your twin needle is, and that will change the number of stitches and the types of stitches that you can use, because it will know you're using a twin needle. Just turn it back off again. Stitch width safety. If you're using a presser foot for quilting or something that won't take a zigzag stitch or anything like that, press that, and it means that if you try to do a stitch that will move from left to right, it won't do it for you. It will just stay where it is. Audible alarm, so it clicks and pops every time you use it. Calibrate touchscreen, don't worry about that. So if you're in one of these menus and you want to get back to your normal stitches, just press that button. These are the ones that jump to the different menus. So alphabet, you have 2 alphabets on this machine. Some may be useful to you, may not be. And you have upper and lower case, so you can just literally pick the ones you want. If you make a mistake, you just go back one. If you want to wipe the whole thing out, keep your finger on it and delete all stitches. So it takes you through the different characters you can use, including numbers, and then the Cyrillic alphabet again allows you to change to different characters. So if you want to save something you've written, just go to the main menu and then you press the little heart with the little triangle next to it, and that will give you an option to save your sequence. You can save one at a time, and that's that. Saved successfully. So start from afresh. So you can save sequences on this machine. So let's try one here. Let's do a decorative stitch. I really liked that leaf. And then what we can do is we can then also add some letters. Space in there, sorry, space in, and go back to the same one we had before, and then switch that, no, not that way, that way. Right, so I've created a sequence. I wish to save that. So having saved the sequence, if I then want to sew with it, I'm back in general sewing now. I just press that button. There it is. So you're going to sew this sequence. That's telling me to change the foot. It's telling me I need interfacing, and it's telling me that I can't use IDT. So if you look, basically every foot has a code on it, and this is code 2A, which relates to what it says on the machine. To change your foot, to disengage IDT, to take it back off again, put it down, let it go, and let it go, and it pops off. Simple as that. You push the foot off, pull it, whichever way around you want to do it. That comes out. You line up your next foot and just drop the presser foot onto it. That's it. Your foot's changed. Now this foot doesn't have a slot in the back, so I can't use IDT on it anyway. I'm not going to use interfacing, but what I am going to do is fold the fabric into 4 so it's thicker, and that's basically what the interfacing's about. Pull that under your presser foot and we're ready to go. So put that down. drop the foot down. I'm not going to use the foot pedal. I'm just going to press start. I'm not sewing this fast, I've just sped it up because you don't want to watch this going on for too long. Press the thread snips and it will stop at the end of the sequence. It stops at the end of the sequence. It will also cut the fabric, cut the threads, and there you go. This is your presser foot adjustment. N for normal, 2 and 1 are lighter, and 3 and 4, or sorry, 4 and 5 are for heavier fabrics, and it means they'll come down with more spring. So threading a twin needle, you have a spare spool pin, goes in that clip there, and then you don't need a second spool of thread. What I'm going to use today, just wind another bobbin, gives you another source of the thread. You come over, go through the clip, and then you thread up as normally. You carry on threading up as normally, if you press the foot of course. Carry on threading up as normally. And then the difference here is you don't catch your thread, the second thread, you don't catch it in this little guide, it sits outside the guide. So when you've got both threads, you'll notice that one is sitting outside the guide and one is sitting inside the guide. That's what they're telling you, that's what Pfaff suggests you do. Now of course, this is where in your settings you'd want to say that you're using a twin needle. Mine is a 2.5. I checked it on the packet, so that's good to go. So we come back to that. You can see now it's telling me I've got a twin needle. I'm on stitch 1. Let's go. There you go. Don't forget, when you change back to a standard needle, just come back into the settings and take that off. One step buttonhole foot, it knows what size it needs to be. To swap over, already disengage the IDT, push this down, engage, there you go. I've got my thread hanging off to one side. Now what you must remember with your buttonhole foot is you have a buttonhole lever. Bring that down. Of course, the other thing you must do is select a buttonhole stitch. Come down. Go for 32. Again, this is asking for interfacing. What we're just going to do is I'm just going to fold that over. So it's 4 layers. Bring that down, so your buttonhole on, you've got that, press the stop button. And gets to the end, stitch off, snip your threads, lift your presser foot, and there's your buttonhole. Here's the lever to drop your feed dogs down, feed dogs back up. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see some more, try this one next.